the above entitled action, upon our oaths, do find the defendant, Lori Daybell, as to the crime of count 1, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder occurring on or about October 2nd, 2019, as follows. Guilty. Signed, 4 persons.
There you have it. The verdict is in for the second Arizona trial for so-called doomsday mom Lori Vallow, guilty of plotting to murder her niece's ex-husband. The former Valley mom is already serving life behind bars for 4 other murders, including her own 2 children.
They call her the doomsday mom for a reason. This jury didn't know anything about Vallow's other convictions, and they reached a guilty verdict after just 30 minutes of deliberations today. Our true crime correspondent Brianna Whitney was in the courtroom and is here tonight to break down the verdict and how this wrapped up.
Wrapped up quick.
Yep.
I mean, we didn't expect the verdict to come in so quickly, kind of in comparison, 30 minutes here. It was about 3 hours in her trial that just happened in the death of Charles Vallow. This was truly so relieving for Brandon Boudreaux, the victim in this case, and everybody else who has found themselves trapped in this doomsday web, this plot in so many deaths. Brandon Boudreaux, the only survivor to live to tell the tale. There he is in court right there. This all unfolded back in October of 2019 when Brandon, who is Lori's niece's ex-husband, was shot at. And you can see the bullet right there in the car. That's his Tesla, narrowly missing his head. It was Alex Cox, Lori's brother, that pulled the trigger, and the state was able to prove that Lori conspired and planned to kill Brandon Boudreaux. And it was all done within Lori's Jeep. They got her windows tinted. There's video of Lori and her now husband, Chad Daybell, preparing surveillance footage, taking out a tire, taking out a bench seat, getting that Jeep all ready for her brother to sit there and lie in wait for Brandon Boudreaux to come home. You can see that's actually video from the scene that day, that body camera, as he's telling officers, I believe that Lori Vallow and Alex Cox were behind this. The reason why is because he said there was something that happened back in July. That was the death of Charles Vallow, Lori's husband at the time. But this jury did not know that Charles Vallow died, did not know that Lori's kids are dead, Tylee and JJ, and did not know that Chad Daybell's wife is dead either, that she's been convicted in all 4 of those deaths. Brandon, the only person to survive all of this, he took the stand as the state's first witness. A relief today to be found guilty for Lori. He came outside on the courthouse just minutes after on the steps talking to the media about all of this. And remember, because Lori represented herself, and you can see it right there, she was questioning Brandon. So he talked about how difficult that was for him in court.
I did not enjoy sitting and giving someone who tried to kill me the chance to question me. But I owed it to Charles, to Tylee, to JJ, and to Tammy to speak because I could. I heard this in this trial about loving everyone. I support this cause. However, I do not believe that all the things that were said follow that.
Yeah, the person that said she loved everybody and spread love was actually Lori Vallow Daybell herself in her opening statements. And you can see pictures here. That's Charles Vallow, Tylee, and JJ, all these people that this jury didn't know about. But interestingly enough, somebody that was brought up over and over again in this trial was Melanie Boudreaux, Brandon's wife at the time. Melanie was Lori's niece. She had recently moved up to Rexburg, Idaho to live near Lori and Alex Cox. She was the only one that knew about Brandon's new address after their recent divorce. And she is listed as a co-conspirator in this case. She has not been charged yet, but she could be. The prosecutor said the investigation is open and ongoing. So I asked Brandon today about that. Brandon, do you believe Melanie should be charged in this case?
I'm not going to talk about that right now, but I appreciate the question.
So not ready to talk about that, and it's understandable. Brandon and Melanie actually share 4 young children together that are just in the middle of all of this. It's such a tragic situation, but he told us that he wants to move forward with his life, hopefully going forward in anonymity. He does not want to be in the center of all of this, as he has been part of it for 6 years now. So this is really the end for Lori Vallow Daybell. We do need to get to sentencing. She's not been sentenced yet for the murder of Charles Vallow either. Those will happen together on July 25th. We'll probably hear more from Brandon, other family members who have been affected, and that's when Judge Boreski will decide what she faces. It is likely that will be life in prison.
Yet another life sentence.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. And Brianna, so she fired her attorneys again for this trial, represented herself. She just had to prove some reasonable doubt, correct?
Correct. And so in both of these trials, she did not call a defense. She could have, chose not to. That also means she chose not to testify. And I believe that's because she didn't want to face the questions from prosecutor Trina Kay, who was pretty organized with all of her evidence in this. That's correct. She also could have gone forward with the jury hearing more about, aggravating and mitigating factors in a sentence, but she actually stipulated to that. And what does that mean? I mean, she agreed, basically saying to the judge, yeah, I agree that this was a dangerous crime, and I also agree that there was a co-conspirator or an accomplice in this case. And so she said, all right, judge, you can decide. He could add more aggravating factors to that.
And because she's behind bars for life, she's got nothing but time, so we'll see what comes of probable possible appeals. And in case you missed it, Brianna sat down for an exclusive jailhouse one-on-one with Lori. It is on our website now. You can check that out. Talking about acting as her own attorney and more on the case. Let's talk